Are performance-enhancing drugs and steroids an issue in CrossFit or CrossFit Games? And is it more so than any other sport that doesn't like officially test for those things?
So it's been a thing. It's not crazy, but there have been obviously positive tests. More times than not, it's not at the CrossFit Games. We've had one instance where one person that was on the podium tested positive. But when that happened, that was the first, and I don't think it's happened since. Most of the positive tests come from the next level down of the level of athlete that isn't quite there yet. And just has themselves convinced that, oh, everyone up there is doing it, so this is what I have to do to get to that next level. But with any sport, the more popular it gets, the more sponsors that come in, the more money that's available, and now the more tempting it is to do those things. So, we see the reports, the releases of, it's a first offense is typically a 4-year ban. So they're becoming more and more popular especially as they start testing more and more often.
So they're doing that. They're testing now.
They're not just testing at the top level of the competition. They're testing at, there is some out of competition testing. It's not the greatest. They give you 24 hours notice for a random drug test. And I remember the first time I found that out, I was livid. I was like, because I remember seeing, like, especially seeing the physique of so many of the top competitors. You're just like, Jesus, look at you. It's just like, you're like a sculpture. And then it's the easiest thing to just go, oh, you must be cheating. That's why I don't look like you. It's because you're cheating. It's a way to make you feel a little bit better about yourself. But yeah, I remember the first time I got called, it was like, hey, this is drug-free sport. Your name got selected for a random out of competition drug test. And I was used to USADA from the weightlifting world, where you have to enroll in the no advance notice program. So you have to give 1 hour of every single day where you will be guaranteed. And they show up with no announcement. And then you have to supply either urine or blood sample. And so for drug-free sport, it was, I remember getting the call and they said that, and I was like, perfect. I'm at the address that I listed on my drug testing form. Doors unlocked, just come on in. And they were like, wait, no, we'll be there tomorrow. I was like, excuse me? Like, you're giving 24 hours notice? Like, why in the world would you do that? But it's just about resources, but they're being much more diligent about doing random drug tests during the competition, not just at the end of the competition, because there's so many drugs that the half-life is so short that you can literally take it before the event starts and it's clear within a couple hours.
Wow.
And
what are your thoughts on that? Because the UFC has this, we're going to be a clean sport. But then if you just saw Abu Dhabi competition in Vegas, they don't test there. And the guys openly joke, like Gordon Ryan, that I'm just crazy on crazy juice. And you get these big behemoth of men. Yeah, it's kind of an open secret, and sometimes they joke openly about it.
Oh, I thought UFC was on USADA.
UFC is on USADA. No, Abu Dhabi, the jiu-jitsu competitions are
okay.
So these are these two options. So like UFC is all USADA and hardcore, and then you look at jiu-jitsu and it's not. And you get these guys that are like, they openly joke that we're all juiced really heavy. And
I didn't realize that.
Getting massive muscle mass. And you look at Abu Dhabi and they're like these massive dudes. And that's how they compete. And then everyone can do that. And you get this great level of jiu-jitsu. Obviously, people want to punch people in the heads. There's not concussion issues.
Yeah.
But like, it's a weird way to look at it, where it's like, okay, maybe in the future there's sports where it's not tested. Maybe there's when they are tested. I don't know.
Well,
so thought about that.
So like the one that jumps, top of mind is powerlifting. There's so many different federations, but the main thing that I'm aware of is the discrepancy between tested and non-tested. And I remember talking to some people that were involved in the powerlifting world, and they said, they're like, oh, there are clean competitors that compete in the non-tested divisions, but 9 times out of 10, if you're in the non-tested, it's for that specific reason. And so I think with something like jiu-jitsu, like hopefully there are competitions that are tested and are clean for the person that doesn't want to go down that avenue. I've always said, I'm like, what you do in your personal life, that's your business. As long as you aren't hurting anyone around you, do whatever you want. I don't care. Like, who am I to dictate your actions? But as soon as you sign up for a competition and you're telling people, I am clean, I agree to be clean, well, now you're cheating. Now you're an asshole because you're lying to everyone. So like if somebody just wants to get jacked and ripped and, you know, just see what their body's capable of or whatever you're looking for, have at it. As long as you're not hurting anyone. But the rules are in place for a reason.
Do you have the mentality, like the Nate Diaz mentality is, you know, I don't care what you take, I'm going to beat you anyways. Did you have that mentality ever in CrossFit when that would come in your mind and you're like, I got this dialed in, you can fucking take whatever you want. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, so the only time there's been a positive test at the CrossFit Games, I had gotten first place and I believe the gentleman got third. He had gotten third because he bumped my buddy Vellner off the podium. And you know, you get all this noise around it of, you know, when he's in his suspension and, you know, you're hearing all this shit talking of like, oh, Ricky's going to beat you. And it's like, dude, when he was juiced up, I beat him. You know, like what leg do you have to stand on here? You know, I think it's disappointing. You know, I think the biggest disappointment of that example was that Pat Vellner didn't get to be on the podium. You know, he robbed that opportunity of Pat to celebrate that night. I somehow, the article got sent to me about the positive test from the competition. I somehow was the first one to contact my buddy Pat. I just said, congratulations, man, so happy for you, like glad it happened. And he replied back, yeah, congratulations to you too. What are we congratulating each other over? And I was like, dude, third place got popped, like you got third place. And he was just like, wow, that sucks. And I was like, what do you mean that sucks? Like you just got the prize money, you're gonna get the medal. And he's like, whatever. He's like, I didn't get that moment on the podium with my family. And I was like, oof, never thought about that. You know, and something that you never go back, you can never rewind that and have it. You know, it's a real bummer.
The greedy bankers are about to do it again. In 2008, they crashed our financial system and nearly bankrupted the entire global economy. Then they received trillions of dollars in government bailouts. And after, they demanded fat bonuses paid for by you, the taxpayer.
It turns out the banks haven't just been screwing the American taxpayers, they're also screwing over their investors. Turns out the banking industry is the worst place you could put your money, despite enormous taxpayer bailouts.
Now the bankers are back to take away your financial freedom. They lie and tell you that cryptocurrency isn't safe. They try to make it illegal for you to choose how to invest your hard-earned money. They lie and say cryptocurrency is used by money launderers and criminals. But look at the record. It's the banks themselves that launder hundreds of billions of dollars every year to the biggest criminal operations in the world.
Leaked documents have revealed how some UK banks have helped criminals, money launderers and Russians under sanctions.
American authorities discovered that the Sinaloa cartel moved $881 million through HSBC accounts as bank officials turned a blind eye to the illegality.
The bankers lie and say cryptocurrency is not a real investment. Meanwhile, the smartest CEOs in the world are buying billions and billions of it. The truth is that banks lie about cryptocurrency because it makes them scared. The banks take $9 trillion per year of your hard-earned money, and they are worried that they will finally be exposed. They're scared because crypto means they can no longer control your money, which means they can no longer control you. They are scared because you might actually understand your money and intelligently decide what to do with it. Now is the time for us to come together, fight back, and take control. It's time to educate ourselves, our families, and our communities. Because financial education means financial freedom. We know that cryptocurrencies will help us build the new decentralized financial system of the future. A banking system that is of the people, by the people, and for the people. A banking system where access to finance is a fundamental human right. A banking system that is free and fair and welcomes all humans on this earth. The DeFi revolution is happening. We, the people, can no longer be fooled. We choose to take control of our finances. We choose to take control of our freedom. We choose to take control of our future. Join us, and let's take back our financial freedom forever.